Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. This is the interview you've all been asking for and waiting for patiently. I know I've been doing all these other interviews, but it seems that when a Peter Fury interview happens, everything seems to go haywire. So, without further ado, I welcome back with warm arms to the show world-class trainer and mentor and good friend, Peter Fury. Peter, how are you?
Well, that's very nice coming from you, considering I'm just a trainer and a spit bucket man. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, you know what? You just valuing somebody who's treated me with the utmost respect through the years, and gave me a break when I first started out doing interviews. So I'm thankful. I'm always grateful to you and our relationship. So thank you very much for that, Peter. Always like to say that.
You're more than welcome. So it's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. So Peter, where are you at the moment?
I'm where I always go on most Christmases. I'm in Cannes, south of France, relaxing with my family. We've been for a jog this morning down the Crosshead, and it was nice. The sun's out, and just eating healthy and keeping to my training regime on losing weight and stuff. So yeah, all positive.
Out in Cannes, was there any particular reason why you decided to go out there? I know you've done it a while now, but was there any reason why you particularly picked there for Christmas time?
I've been coming out here since 2010. We live out here as well. I've got a villa here, so I've always liked it. To me, if I like something, why change it? I've been to most parts of the world, and I think the south of France, it's got a class about it that I don't see in other places. So I really like it. It's very relaxing. I love the scenery. It's very old, so it suits me. That's what I like. I like old things. I look at new things as what they are. It's Legoland. Old things are the best. The old sayings are the best. The old people are the best. It's I just like things like that, antiques and stuff like that. So we've got antique markets here. They celebrate Christmas here. I'm a very religious man. I believe in God with my heart. So it suits what I like about it.
You're an old school man and old school trainer with old school habits and an old school mentality, which serves well, tried, tested, and proven to produce results. Would you not agree?
Well, there's one thing for sure. I don't sway for people. I don't sway for money. I don't sway for anything. I do what I see in my own eyes. Made a lot of mistakes over the years, but today I seldom make many mistakes because you learn from your mistakes. It's all part of the growing process. But no, on a friendly note and on a nice note, I'm looking forward to Christmas. I wish everybody, nobody's excluded, having a lovely Christmas, and I wish everybody the best for next year.
Okay, so on that very positive note, unfortunately, we're going to have to backtrack a bit into some things that are not so positive. Unfortunately, Peter. The four-letter word, almost a square word, I would say, is UKAD. For the time we've been speaking previously, it's always been, there are certain things you can't talk about because legally you couldn't do certain things. Now, obviously, the UKAD case is over. Talk to us about UKAD in your eyes and what you were seeing and things that you couldn't talk about then that you now feel that you can talk about.
Yeah, there's no secrets with it. A lot came out. UKAD leaked it out for deliberate reasons or not, but they leaked it out to the public domain, where everybody else had a lot of privacy. We never had seen none. That's another story. But apart from that, in February 2015, they had elevated levels of nandrolone in the system. That's never been disputed because scientists said it was there, and it was there. So we had a meeting several months later after being investigated. We met with UKAD, and they said, "Look, there's high levels, but not illegal levels. You've gone over the threshold. I think by 1 or 2. I don't understand the science of it, but they said, "Look, what are you eating?" So I told them what they was eating and stuff, and they said, "Look, you're our boxers. We know Tyson's fighting for a world title with Vladimir Klitschko. You've not done anything wrong. However, we need to warn you of it and make sure it doesn't happen again, because if you got tested anywhere else, somebody else might pick it up, take a different view. But we've monitored you now for 7 months. You've not done anything wrong, and the levels seem to have gone. They spiked up, and it just went straight down again. And then it was more or less like that. So I said, okay. So I said that. They said, look, we're only here to advise you on diet and how to move forward. But don't let this happen again. They asked us where we got all our stuff from, like the proteins and stuff like that. We explained all of that. And so we went back, changed the diet, and everything was fine going forward. And there was nothing. And then, to our surprise, we were cast iron assured as well by the highest up of Ukad that there was no problem. There was no solicitors, there was no talk, it was all informal, we had chat, and it was very helpful to us, to be fair. I could see the point that they was making, and we made the adjustments, me and Mick Hennesey, and that was it. But as soon as Tyson cancelled his fight, he postponed his second rematch. I think within a day or so, these charges come through. And I'm looking at these charges, and they're like pin code protected. You couldn't look at it, so I didn't really know what it was. It says Tyson Hughie to be charged, and I thought they'd done some recent violation. So anyway, it was them charges. So they went back, however long it was, a year or 16 months later, and they changed their mind and come with charges. Now we was never given the explanation for that. So. Why they assured us we didn't do anything, and then all of a sudden, 16 months later, after he fights for a world title, wins it fair and square, we get told, hey, you've done something wrong here, and he's going to be charged. So it was all bizarre turnout. But nevertheless, we got charged, and for 2 years, nearly 2 years, 18 months is it, since this came out, we've been fighting, me, Mick Hennesey, Ali, who's our partner in anything sports as well. And we've been fighting rigorously, day in, day out. And it's been a mission now. The thing is, I've been fighting for their lives. And, Mick Hennesey, Ali, we all have. It's took a lot of cost, and we've been brutally entrenched in it. But I'm used to this because, for me, I've dealt with all of this over the years, and I know when these things happen, they're brutal. And they'll do anything to get a victory. And when they get so far in, they spend so much money, then they've got to be responsible to their peers, which are on the line, and then you become a victim of this vacuum. And that's all I can call it, because the fair play really goes out the window. Then it's about winning at all costs. So I think after a long battle, and more, we took a consideration as well. We went to trial once, and Ukad and Jamie, so many months ago, and then it got put on for the other day. So we went down there, me and Hughie, to set the trial again, and a deal was brokered on both sides. And for the simple reason the deal was brokered for both sides is they accepted that both lads was not cheating. They give them a 2-year back thing, so they could box straight away. And apparently, this 2-year means it's accepted that they didn't inject. It's been accepted that it's either come through supplements, maybe food. They just don't know themselves. So for us, it was wise just to take it, because I could see appeal processes going on. Another year down the road, possible bans, not bans, a lot of uncertainty there. So basically, we made a joint decision. A deal was put forward, and we accepted it because ultimately these boys didn't do anything wrong. So for now, for them not to be cheated, because look, that's one thing we do know as well. I don't understand these UA rules, whatever they are. But apparently, when you got levels in your system, whether you're innocent or guilty, it requires some kind of a ban. That's their laws. So doesn't mean to say that they've done anything wrong because they've had a back year back. That's the law, that's the rule. So I don't really understand that part of it. But we done a deal on the basis that both of these lads are innocent and they've not injected. So they haven't cheated. How it's got there through the food, it was truthful what they did the first time. It's obviously got there through the diets they've been on, the excessive stuff they've been eating, the proteins, whatever they've been on. So, when we cut it out, what they suggested, 11's never happened again. And they had test after test after test. As soon as they cut back on the diet they was on, it never happened again. There was no elevated level. So I think that's where we are. But what I want to do, I want to really thank Mick Hennesey, because I'm going to thank Mick paramount, because he was the one with my relationship with me, and then Ali came in, and we've all, as a team, we've got through this, because these boys may never have been boxing for quite a while. I know Tyson, he told the tester to jog on because he was that disappointed. He thought he'd been wrong to the max, and he told the tester to jog on one day, and that carries alone apparently an 8-year ban.
Wow.
He told them basically to F off. I wasn't aware of it. I got aware of it 10 minutes later. I tried to get the testers back there. I said, "What have you done that for?" He thought it was a strike, because he doesn't know anything about legal matters, Tyson. He hasn't got a clue. So he thought it was a strike, and he carried an 8-year ban. So Tyson was possibly looking at an 8-year and a 4-year ban. So the thing is, when you've got all this entangled in legal embroilment what the fighter doesn't understand or have any knowledge of, when it comes back on our doorstep, it's shock horror, isn't it? For making for basically falling into their hands and giving them what they want, basically. So this is what happened. But he genuinely thought it was just a strike because you got 3. But it was not. It's not a strike when you tell them to F off in front of them and say, "Jog on. I don't trust you. You've done this to me." I can see the point of view by doing that. But that's the level of responsibility we're facing. So, I'm just glad that we wrapped it all up and got an adequate ending to it. But it's been 2 years of hell, me and Mick, Ali, sometimes up late at night, dealing with this day in, day out. So I'm going to give us a pat on the back. Nobody else is going to give us a thank you. So I appreciate Mick and Ali to the max, because without them, these boys could never be boxing again.
So during your time with working with promoter Frank Warren, how does that work as well? Was Frank able to pull any strings for you, or was it really basically just Mick Hennesey?
No, Frank Warren's had nothing to do with the Ukad, nothing whatsoever. He's had no input into it, no payments, nothing. It's not their involvement, and he's not been asked to do anything with it. He's had no involvement whatsoever. All Frank's done, fair play to him, he's give a comment, said I think he thinks it's disgusting the way it's gone on for so long. But the only people that's been embroiled in this is myself, Mick Hennesey, and Ali. There's nobody else. And we've had 2 years of it, trying to save these fighters' lives, and wrongly as well. This has all been wrongly done to us. So I will say, it's took a hell of a lot of dealing with. But we're through it now. And let me tell you this, with all this said and done, I think the Ukad is a good system. I think drug cheats need to be found out, because we're training in camps and training our balls off and putting our life and soul into fighting. So if somebody's doing the same in another camp and they're cheating and taking all this shit to get an advantage, then it is unfair. So I respect the system. I respect what they do and what they stand for. They've always had civility from me. Every time these boys have been tested, these testers have been made very welcome. We've never once had any issue. So I think the way this has come about has been misfortunate, and it's just gone on and on and on. And like I said, it leads into a big vacuum where nobody can take a backward step. So all this done, it took 2 years of hell and dragged us into the mud and cost a lot of money as well. But like I said, for anybody out there listening to this, watch your products very, very carefully, because this can happen to you. Watch what you're doing, and make a record of everything you're doing on a daily basis, anything you put in your mouth, anything where you take it, where it's from. Get informed sport stuff, only take that, and have a record of everything you're doing, because this can happen to you.
Now, when you discovered about the nandrolone originally, did you know what could you pinpoint what the products were that were causing the problems or caused the huge spike?
No, we cut the products out. When we was told by Ukad what they thought it could be and what does happen and what raises the levels, we cut out. This is mainly all because of Hughie. Because Hughie had allergies, as you know. We had problems with his skin. You know, we had problems with fatigue. You know, we took him to specialists, and they said that he's got major allergies, and he needs fresh produce. So we got fresh meat, we got freshly killed meat to make sure he wasn't injected with anything. You know, I couldn't believe what was happening. You know, so we got all this, and because some of these certain types of food, maybe certain types of protein they was taking from certain suppliers that was supposed to be clean, and it wasn't exactly what they was giving to us. You know, we found all this out. So you know, as a result of this, when this was cut out and we changed to better stockists who was properly informed, sport registered, we never had the issue. And this, so as you know, this happened in February 2015. Now, we had no idea that these boys' levels had elevated. We had no idea until later on in the year, September, around 18th, 20th of September, we contacted me and Mick Hennesey to say that, look, we've been looking at the boys for several months and we need to see them because in February they had these spike levels. So we need to see you. So we went down, and when we seen them, they said, this spike was only then. It's gone down again. So when we had a look at it, why it had gone down, we could see that we changed some products around. You know, we wasn't bothering with certain types of meats as much back then. So that's why the levels was like mediocre, because it wasn't having as much. So we put it down to that. Ukad agreed it must be that, and we cut it out altogether, and we never had the problem since. So just what it was.
So one of the things I heard, something to do with wild boar meat. Was this a joke or was this serious?
No, they put different things on it. I just said, get me some wild meat, get me some freshly killed meat, get me some pig, you know, all of this. I never heard the term of a wild boar. I've never seen a wild boar in my life. I don't deal with all of that. I just said to our team, part of our Team Fury team, you know, source the meat for me, make sure it's fresh, make sure you see it running around in the field, and then get it killed, and we'll eat that, because this lad can't have anything that's contaminated. Because you hear all these stories, meat getting injected. It wasn't for any UCAT stuff. It was a case of being injected with stuff to affect Hughie's immune system, where he was having all the problems, because back then we had no idea what was happening with Hughie. So it was trial and error, and we was advised by all these health clinics that Hughie had to eat totally clean, unprocessed food. So that was what we did. It just turns out that, you know, this particular meat turned out to be wild boar. You know, I just said, get me some fresh pig. So that was it. Pork, as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know nothing about no wild boars and this and that. It's all irrelevant to me. It's just, the meals are in the fridge in a packet. It's like you get a piece of steak, yeah? It comes from a cow in the field. You don't think, that's come from a cow in the field, do you? You just cook it and eat it in the pan. So that's basically what it is. So through trying to get to the bottom of this, realistically, has caused us a major headache.
Right. Okay. So at least we've got that sort of cleared up. Some of the stuff that you've probably been reading over social media, stuff you've been hearing, what are some of the misconceptions that you've had to listen to over and over again during this UCAD situation?
Well, when stories leak out, you automatically think, yeah, drugs cheat, this and that. You know, it's not nice to hear. You know, these lads have broke the back, and I broke the back because I've wanted them to succeed more than anything in the world. And when it's family, you'll give them that extra push. So to see that the hard work's gone in, and then have all this come out in the media, you know, it is what it is. But look, you can only bounce off it and say, you know, you've done nothing, have you? So listen, let the world think what it wants. We can't change what the world's going to think. It ain't for me now trying to convince the people anything. I'm just giving you the facts of the case. But what I was saying to them, don't worry about it. Now, Hughie's quite, he'll just get on with it. It has affected him Don't get me wrong. But it had a bigger effect on Tyson because obviously he showed out. He just completely went off the rails over it. So it done a lot of damage. But I'm thankful to say, look, when you're in the trenches, I can't afford for my head to fall off because I've had to deal with it and I've dealt with it. And thank God. You see, look, your friends, your real friends are only there in despair moments. I couldn't have got through this without Mick. Mick couldn't have got through it without Ali. This has been a team effort. Only we know what we've had to deal with. So I am very, very grateful. And I'll be grateful to Mick for the rest of my life because without him, I wouldn't have got these lads through. No way in the world.
So some people ask the question, why is Peter Fury still with Mick Hennesey? But then you can't question something like this.
I can't question money. I can't question anything over morals and values. If we've lost our morals and values, what are we? If I left Mick, would I be a religious man? Would I believe in God? I can't put money and materialistic things in front of my relationship with close friends I've had for years and people that stand with me. Never do that. I'll go to the grave with that because that's where I stand. I stand with my people who are there with me in rough times, good times. I can't be bought. So the thing is, I'm loyal to my people. And my people is Mick Hennesey. He is my pal and we stood for his freaking pin. He's the one I grant him full respect because without him, these boys would have probably never been boxing. Because Hughie with a 4-year ban, Tyson with a 12, that's it. That would have been the end of it, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. You mentioned something about I can't be bought. It's something I'm hearing quite a bit now. When you say you can't be bought, what exactly are you alluding to there?
I'm not alluding to anything. I'm saying loyalty and respect. When people's been with you all for years, you don't turn your back on that. So what I'm saying is, you're hearing all these Twitter stories where what's Mick Hennesey, what's this? Mick Hennesey's a paramount, helping us get to where we are. Without him, especially now, what's happened with Ukad stuff, anything could have happened. So we haven't been fighting for 2 years for nothing, have we? To say, it's finished with that. Get on with me, your future, and forget everybody. Without, like I said, without the team around me, no boxing.
So this 2-year ban, backdated, when does that start from? Or when did it start from?
I'm not sure. I think they just backdated it just to get the deal done, I think. But it's I don't even know when it started or when it's up, but it is up. And the fight is absolutely free to box.
It says on
the exact month when it is.
Well, I read something that said that the fight between Tyson and Hamer was ruled as a no contest.
Yeah, maybe it is. I think whatever it is, but whether it's ruled as a no contest or not, they've had the fight. If them elevated levels was at that time, that's what I'm saying. So by their law and rules, it has to be a no contest. So they just ruled it like that. So it ain't no problem for us. We don't care.
And does that then wipe out or make the Klitschko fight a no contest as well?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Tyson is remained the lineal world champion. That's clear. That's another reason why we've been fighting, for two years to clear his name because all that he's achieved as a young man, boxing for them lineal belts, he won them fair and square. And to be trying to reverse the decision, that ain't happening. Not while I'm alive and breathing. So the thing is, he's kept his lineal status. He is the Ring Magazine #1 in the world. And I'm very happy, very, very happy and delighted that a young man has worked his life and achieved it, and not to be robbed of it for some load of shit.
As you remember me, I think you remember me doing a video a while back regarding that situation with all the belts and saying that Tyson should vacate those belts and keep the Ring Magazine belt because of the shenanigans that was going on in world boxing. It so happened that those belts were vacated. Can you talk to me now about the decision that was made to vacate those titles in the end and what made you get into that position to do that?
It's a decision by our own team. Again, Mick Hennesey and myself. And we decided to vacate the belts rather than having stripped of the belts. Because when you don't fight and this cage dragging out, you would have been stripped. So we done the right thing with all the governing bodies to vacate the belts, under the understanding when he did come back, the belts are readily available for him. So it was a decision to take, a right decision, and that's it. So he's still got all of his good relationships with all the governing bodies.
That's great to hear. The IBF, I remember talking to Tyson in January in London, and he said to me in the interview, well, I've paid almost $500,000 for my in sanctioning fees for the IBF belt, but I ain't got my belt yet. Why have I paid my sanctioning fees? Are they going to give me back my sanctioning fees? Whatever happened with that situation, do you know?
Look, I'm sick of all the politics. I'm sick of all the shit about belts and this and that. The main thing is we're where we are, and it's on with another year. Put all the shit behind and just get forward, because the politics ruin boxing. And unfortunately, when it's on your doorstep, you have to get embroiled in it. So you've got to roll your sleeves up, get your hands dirty, and get stuck into that. So it's been a mission.
Okay.
To say the least.
Fair enough. Another thing, external forces. Lots of people have various conspiracy theories as to why Tyson ended himself in the situation that he did regarding, or not even Tyson, Team Fury in particular, why they're in the position they were in, comments that were made in the media, upsetting certain high-level figures within politics. Do you think that had anything to do with it, or do you think that's just a totally separate matter and the two shouldn't be connected?
Well, who knows? Just when you're involved in it and it's on your doorstep, it's not about thinking of conspiracy theories and this and that. You need hard evidence. So a lot of things could happen. A lot of things could have influenced the decision to bring charges, because, like I said, they assured us in September of 15 that absolutely would be none. And this was a lot of that hearing as well, was the abuse argument, was to sling it out. So where there's no case to begin with. As far as I'm concerned, and my team's concerned, there was no case to bring in the first place. It wasn't even over the threshold limit, apparently. So they give and take a little bit. So it's all bad and bizarre. So something was at the back of it. What that is, I don't know. Did other boxing promoters get to find out about it? Did they stick the knife in because it helped to stagnate our progress, to help their progress? It could be where it's been leaked out, possibly by the Boxing Board of Control. And because it's been leaked out, it's getting in the domain. Ukad could have acted because it's out in the closet, so to speak. So we have to act on it now. We seem to be doing the correct thing. It could be any of those things or none of them. That's why the conspiracy theory now. But something prompted these charges in the first place. But the bad news for all of these negative, sly bastards out there, who is behind it hasn't worked. Because, when you knock on somebody's door and you're wrong, right always comes out of it. So not every time, but if you're strong in faith and you're a fighter, then you'll come through these things. And I've had to deal with most of this stuff, so I've seen it many a time over the years. But like I said, we're out of it now, and it's a fresh start. I just want to put it at the back of my mind and move forward. And just thank God for the result.
Thank God for the result. Final question regarding the situation. During the 2 years of inactivity within the career of Tyson, was there any possibility that you could have fought outside of the UK and got a license and continued boxing?
Anything's possible, but it would have reflected bad on the case. So it's better not to do anything. It's better just to do and go. Look, you're in the system, so you're in the system. You've got to behave in the system. So it's all right running around with all these fantastic ideas. Basically, you've got to backtrack that nobody's done anything wrong here. So why are we going to jump through hula hoops and do all this shenanigans? For what reason? So we had a problem. Now it's time to deal with the problem. So it's taken 18 whatever months to deal with it, and it's been dealt with. So, like I said, you can do a good job. And, I think it's definitely needed in sport, but it's just unfortunate what's happened here.
What are the lessons that you've learned in these last 2 years within the sport of boxing? Has it disheartened you? And now you look forward.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward. I see there is a lot of politics involved. There's a lot of slyness, a lot of deviousness. Anything where there's money to be gained, anything where people can grab an advantage, they'll take one. But that's up to the individual himself, whether they go down paths or whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm very happy. I think we've got one of the strongest teams in world boxing. We're unshakable. And for me, what we've had to go through, we've come out the other side. It's a great thing. And I give all the thanks to God for it, because, that's where we are. So very, very delighted with where we are in world boxing today.
Fantastic. Moving on. Let's move on to the future. So, Peter Fury, the head honcho, the man that plots the way forward. I want to talk a little bit, Peter, about yourself for people who don't understand the inner workings of your mindset. And I'm doing this specifically so it kind of answers questions without asking questions. What does it take for a fight for you to train a fighter? To train for Peter Fury to say, yes, I'll train you?
Look, I love the sport of boxing. And I've got to really dedicate my life to it. If I got into this sport for money, we wouldn't have achieved it. We wouldn't have achieved anything if it was for me as a business. This ain't my income as a business. So I've already got businesses. I'm nearly 50 years old. So, I've worked all my life since I was 16 years of age. I've had successful businesses. I was worth 4 or 5 million when I was 21, 22. So I'm not a fool here. So I've gone through a lot in my life. And, it's knowing about when you get a period in your life, that money's not that important, chasing millions of pounds up and down. And that's why I looked at these young ones, my own family especially, and I looked at them and the love I had for them, and I've still got for them is, that's why I've continued to do. So that's it really. So for me, I'm passionate with it. You have to love the individual. That's all I can say. When they're nice-natured, it's worth the world. You'll help them to the end of the earth. So that's the paramount for me. And it's the right ingredient because it's worked so far.
What are the sort of things? I mean, I've heard so many stories about your training camps. I've heard that they are absolutely brutal and savage, and the fighters get into tremendous shape, and they are, they're technically sound, but they are brutal training sessions. What goes through your mind as a trainer when you are looking at a fighter and you're preparing them to get into camp and to get them through to be ready for that fight? What goes through your mind as a trainer?
Well, first and foremost, training is about switching on and off. It's although we're kind, although it's good nature, although you've got all the love in the world for them, you want them to do well, you can see what they're up against. So, the niceness goes out the window. When you're in camp, you need to be prepared for world title fights. Look, a trainer to me is a conditioner. They're not teachers. They're not wise men. You have to see problems coming round corners before they get there. It ain't about hitting the pads. It ain't about doing a squat thrust and jumping up and down. That's all 10% of it. There's a lot involved in boxing. Look, if you're a fool, there's plenty of boxers. There's plenty of trainers in the world. The success rate only comes from intelligent people. So I suppose that's where it's at with it all, really. So that's all I can say about it.
So,
and the other thing, what I will say, the only reason that we've had brutal camps is because the fighters has let me down. They go out of camp, they eat shit, they put on 3 or 4 stone of weight, they do everything they shouldn't do. They're a professional athlete. They should, when they come out of that camp, the average camp, and you get them in beautiful condition. Yeah, they should maintain that. I don't mind going up, a big guy, heavyweight, can put on 14 pounds in a few weeks, a month. That's what it should be. You should say to yourself, I'm a professional athlete. I want to watch what I put in my mouth. I don't want to be like all these hangers-on. Because where was you lot when I was nowhere? Where was you lot licking my ass now? Where was you all back then? So I'm going to stay focused because this is my living. Because when I fail, all these hangers-on, all these ass lickers will all disappear. So all fame hunters, all seeking for some attention to get the face on a camera with a heavyweight champ, it's also well and good. You should maintain your disciplines. And this is the reasons why when they've come into camp, I've had to nearly kill them to get them in shape because I'm on a timeline. Where if they'd have looked after the bodies and been sensible, they could have done the pads, and we could have worked on the technique and the stuff that we've had to, well, we've worked on it anyway, but we've also, more than anything, had to work on condition, because they've come in camp way out of shape. Because when they come out of camp, it's almost like to them, they're coming out of a prison sentence and they go wild. They eat all the shit, I suppose, that they've been starved of. Well, that's human nature. But you have to control it and realise that this is not just your livelihood, it's a business, it's your career, it's your whole life. So you need to respect it. So that's why we've had grueling camps in the past to get them into the shape where they've come into the camp so much out of shape.
Thank you for answering that. What are the sort of things that would, in terms of a trainer for you, because I spoke to Billy Nelson last night, and last week I spoke to Tunde Ajayi, and I think during sometime the week as well, I spoke to Abel Sanchez, 3 top trainers, and they all said to me, if a fighter leaves my gym, they ain't coming back, because as far as I'm concerned, they left. They're no good for me. So what's your thought process on that? Do you agree with the likes of Sanchez and Tunde Ajayi and Nelson, or have you got a different belief system?
I think they've got to do whatever they're going to do. Look, when people don't respect you, because that's the only reason they go, isn't it? So if that respect is gone, then it's gone. Nobody can predict anything. You haven't got a chain and ball around anybody's neck, so that's up to them. So when somebody puts a life into somebody and they do whatever they do, they get certain things in their mind. You can't predict what people's going to do, so they've got to do whatever they're going to do. So that's up to them.
Okay, let's talk Hughie Fury. Then we get to talk to you about the YouTube pay-per-view. What are your thoughts on hindsight with the pay-per-view and YouTube, and do you think it was a success?
I think what it shows you is we got certain promoters, sitting on their hands, trying to beg a fight, a world title fight, ridiculing everybody, trying to freeze everybody out of it. So we put the fight on. We took a punt. That's why we're the strongest team in the world. Because everybody sat on their hands and didn't put it on because it was all talking to each other behind our back, But it got put on. It was like we showed everybody the 2 fingers and put it on anyway. So everybody was asked if they wanted to put the fight on. Everybody was asked if they wanted to promote the fight, but they couldn't do it. So we did it. So we went on YouTube because basically it was like saying to everybody else, listen, there's no monopoly in this game. Not having it. The world title was put on. Got the best respect. Went on YouTube. Brand new concept, and I think it will be the future of boxing. It did pretty good, so we're happy with it. So I think, look, it's like the phones now, all this media stuff, it's all developing, it's all good. Maybe the terrestrial TV will keep going, but also there's a wider market. So I think in the future, and what a way to pioneer something. So it's it's all good.
Now, again, there are skeptics and there are people that maybe that don't know what's going on will say, well, Mick made a huge loss in that. What a waste of an investment. You are closer to the action. What really is the situation with that pay-per-view situation in terms of gains and losses?
There is no loss. We knew, that Hughie's very capable. And, we're looking at the uncrowned WBO world champion. That never happened because we know now why it didn't happen, because there's politics outside of the ring. And I know what their politics are, but it's not for me to say what they are. But for anybody who's listening, I know what you did, and I know why you did it. like I said, just look at me like I'm some daft trainer and picking a bucket up. You've got a lot more in me than being a daft trainer. So I know what you did, I know why you did it, and everything else. And you robbed my lad of a world title. But that's irrelevant. That's in the past. We move forward, and these people are dropped like deadwood. So we move on, and away we go. But Hughie, never mind his performance. He could have done that. He hit me in the corner. Yes, he could. Yes, he should have. He done enough. He won it by 4 rounds, minimum. So he is the uncrowned heavyweight world champion. Love it or like it, disrespect it, don't care. I know my boxing, and he won the fight. So let's just move on from that.
Okay, so we're moving into 2018. It's very clear that you're going to be with Mick Hennesey in 2018, and the team remain united. Big talk from Hughie Fury asking to fight or requesting to fight Dillian Whyte. Now, when the fight was put to you before, Dillian Whyte was asking to fight Hughie Fury, it came up that, well, we're friends and we shouldn't fight. Now, Hughie's now approached Dillian to fight, and it seems that friendships have changed. Why is that the case?
Well, it's not really the case because this is boxing. Dillian Whyte is a good fighter. He's respected in our team. We know him. I respect him as a person as well. He's a nice fella. I'd also like to say, look what he's come through. He's come through a lot of adversity. The lad's bitty on his gum shield. He's done well. He's come back, got himself in tremendous positions with all the organisations. So maximum credit to Dillian Whyte. It's a success story for him. So that's where it is. But at the time, has Hughie ever said? Have I ever said for Hughie he's going for a British title?
No, I've never heard you say that.
Yeah, because I haven't. So to lace the gloves on with Dillian Whyte, he's a risk for any fighter in the world. That's why his position's where it is. Why are we going to do that? So a little bit of friendship involved, but didn't make any sense. Ain't going to make any money. But look, ultimately this is a business. Yeah, Hughie's coming off a controversial loss, a very controversial loss. And whether they like it or not, Hughie is the uncrowned champion, and everybody knows it. And the people that's only saying it is people that wish his bad things for us. But that fight between him and Dillian Whyte is a domestic super fight in Britain. So that's why it was mentioned, because both of these fighters can make a hell of a lot of money. This is a big fight. That's not underplayed. To say Hughie's, I listened to his video as well. To say that Hughie's challenged him out, he's not ready. Hughie's not an opponent for the 3rd of February. This ain't somebody filling in because Dillian Whyte can't get a fight. He's been training for the 3rd of February. We're saying if Dillian Whyte can't get a fight, Hughie's there. Hughie will fight him, no problem at all. And this is a boxing match. And if Dillian Whyte should win or lose, check around and get maximum respect. This ain't about taking a fight on the street. It's all rubbish. This is a boxing match which benefits both fighters. Now, if it doesn't benefit Dillian Whyte, he doesn't have to take it. But, that's where I see it. This is a big fight for both fighters. He can take it in March, April, May, whenever he wants. Or, if he doesn't want it, rather than using an excuse as February 3rd, just say, I'm not interested in Hughie Fury, we're going another direction. And we'll go in another direction as well. But all of that here is he can't get fights. So Hughie Fury is able and willing. I'm in camp until the 5th of January. I resume camp on the 15th of January. And everybody remember this. I don't do boxing for payments and paydays. My business is run week in, week out. So I'll go back to training when I'm ready. Hughie's trained all year. So he's had a world title fight and a good rest. He'll resume on the 15th of January. I'm certainly not going to pay thousands and thousands of pounds for sparring partners. Jump off all my holidays when I've got my wife and children. Get into training. No contract signed, which will take a fight of this scale and magnitude at least 4 or 5 weeks. Then where are we at? So it's ridiculous to even suggest this fight can happen on the 3rd of February. Dillian Whyte can take a warm-up, take a nobody or whatever he wants to do. Can't see it being a major fight. And then it's a big fight between the pair of them. But if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. What we're saying is Hughie Fury is ready. Nothing to do with friendship, nothing to do with relationships. This is a fight where both men can make a lot of money. and a lot of public would like to see it. That's the benefit for Dillian Whyte for Hughie. If the public would want it, and Hughie's ready to take it. So it's up to them if they want it.
If Hughie doesn't fight Dillian Whyte, if that fight doesn't happen, what is Team Fury going to do in 2018 to brand Hughie Fury? Apart from being the uncrowned WBO champion, what are you going to do to try and brand him? Because I spoke to somebody called Alicia Taylor the other night. We talked about branding, sponsorship, marketing. What are you going to do in 2018 to market and brand Hughie?
Well, Hughie's fight with Dillian's probably not going to happen because all they talk about is the 3rd of February, so we're already not optimistic with that one. So we got other options for Hughie. Look, this lad, he's just turned 23 years of age, and he's just stood the WBO world champion. Everybody on his head thought he wasn't going to go 3 rounds. So, like I said, the future's massive for Hughie. So he's going to be in big fights. We've got the resources, we've got the finances. So there ain't much going to stop us from getting where we're going, is there? So I'm dedicated. We're going into camps next year, and that's where we're at. So we'll be fighting in March, probably, and we'll go from there. You'll have 3 fights next year.
If, as you said, the Whyte fight doesn't happen, what's the sort of opponents, what's the type of opposition we're going to see with Hughie Fury in 2018? Is it going to be more learning fights, or are we looking at top 10 fights?
Well, you heard what Dillian Whyte said. He's no opponent for anyone, and he's not. He's a dangerous fighter. So Dillian Whyte's a good, strong fighter. He'd give anybody a fit. So, like I said, it shows where we're at as fighting people and a family, because Hughie, at his young age, he ain't being guided. I'm putting him with anybody. So he's ready. So I'm looking for Hughie top 10 fighters. I'm not interested in 15. I'm not interested in anybody. Hughie's fighting people in the top 10, minimum, as we showed with Dillian wanting that fight. So like I said, we want to pit Hughie against the best because he's ready. He doesn't need no warm-up fights. He's ready. We'll be tweaking some things he should have done, what he didn't do. So he'll have learned a lot from that fight as well. So we're looking forward to Hughie doing the correction of what he didn't do in his last fight. So he's got a massive future and he's a major threat for anyone. Hence why it's difficult making him fights, because people know what they're up against.
2 fights that never came off but were always talked about: Hughie Fury versus Anthony Joshua, Hughie Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Talk to us about those 2 opponents.
Well, when the timing's right, it's there. The fights will happen. Hughie will take them fights straight away. If they come up, we'll take them. What does Anthony Joshua want to fight Hughie? If you can get it on, make it tomorrow.
Okay.
Make it tomorrow. So that's not an issue, is it? So, like I said, he's ready. He'll take it on anybody.
Okay, that sounds good. Sounds great. Talk to me about the rest of your camp. What's going on with Con Sheehan?
Con Sheehan is nothing really. He's gone home. He's in touch with me. He's having a rest, and we're going to be speaking probably early next year, seeing exactly where he's at, what he wants to do, and everything else. And he's just having a good rest. He fractured his hand. He broke some bones in his hand in the LPUE preparation for his camp. So Con Sheehan's not been able to do anything. So he's rested up. He's taking over, and hopefully he picks his future up.
Okay, Peter McDowell.
Peter McDonald's got a special place in my heart. He's a little warrior. That's the best thing I can put it down. He's loyal. He's dedicated. And, I respect him as a man, and I respect him as a fighter as well. When we was in there, when he was in that fight, let's be honest, he's up against a 25, 26-year-old former European or whatever, British champion or whatever he was, 25 and 2. Had plenty of warning. He prepped himself right, and he turned out just to be that. He turned out to be a very tough fight for Peter. So Peter had to bite him at gumshoe. But Peter's never had a proper camp in his career. He's been to a lot of places. He's done a lot of things. He's never had a proper camp. He's never been conditioned. He's never had the right type of foods, and he's never had the right tutelage as well. And to be fair, in the 8 weeks I had him, or 8 to 10 weeks, I got him in fantastic shape, and he needed to be, because he had to bite on his gum shield and have a fight with Singleton. So for that to happen, but there's a lot to work on with Peter, because when he throws his right hand, he doesn't sit on it. So that's why he can punch, he just doesn't generate and use his. But in the type of fight he had with Singleton, he couldn't really use his new stuff and the skill set he'd been given, because he feel comfortable. In the first few rounds, he come back to the corner and said to me, "I feel like the jab not working." He wasn't confident in what he was being told. So this is why you've got to think on your feet in that split second. When a fighter comes back to you, he's lapsing in a little bit of a confidence in his game plans. You've got to be able to adjust, and you need that fighter in that corner to be totally comfortable. So I said to Peter, I've had him inspiring time and time again. I said, look, get all over him, stay on him. I said, take him in the trenches. I said, because something's going to give. I said, just keep banging the door. And then I think in the 7th, 8th round, or something like that, the 7th maybe, I said, look, you're 39 years of age, do you want this fight? Do not wake up in the morning and tell me anything. You've killed yourself in the gym, think of all that work you've done, keep on him, keep getting onto it. I said, this fight could be slipping. I said, this is a close fight. I said, take it to the wire. And he just seemed to get a surge of energy again. And, he just come over the finishing line. But I was very, very pleased. I think it was a bit emotional for me, to be fair, to see him work so hard, this kid, at 39 years of age, and pull off a win like that. So he's had many good wins in the past, don't get me wrong. But at 39, a lot of people wrote him off. And I'm pleased to see him back. And in the new year, I'm hoping to, as a team, all of us, MTK, we're hoping to get him a meaningful fight and get him a title. So anything's possible with Peter McDonald. He's an exceptional character and a very, very close friend of mine.
That's great to hear, and we look forward to seeing Peter in 2018. Your relationship with MTK Global, does that mean that you technically would be available to train other fighters, or you exclusively work with the fighters that you've generally got at the moment?
I don't look for anybody or anything. Things happen when they happen. I have to like people and get on. But we got some good things happening next year. MT Global, I've got some very personal friends in there. We go back a long time, many years. So it's not just about the boxing. They're personal friends of mine. And like I said, my friendships go over years. They're not, it ain't a business or just a business or, about some pound notes. The people I work with, they respect me and I respect them. So it's we're all one team going forward, and I'm very, very, very happy. And like I said, we've probably got the strongest team in world boxing.
You talk a lot about the pound note, the making a quick buck. Is it because there's people around you, or you've seen a lot of people looking for a quick buck, which is quite disgusting for yourself, or just something you just keep repeating over and over again?
Look, in boxing, there is nobody who can do a better offer than the team we've got. Look, we can pay fighters, not me. My team can pay fighters in the millions, whatever they want. So, like I said, this is one of the strongest teams in world boxing. We've got finances readily available. So we've got loyalty, which is paramount to me. So why step out of your box with your own people when what's the point? What can Joe Bloggs do over there? What can other promoters do that what we can? Where was these promoters? Where was these money snatchers? Yeah, where was all of these parasites when these boys was coming up? Before there was where they was. Where was everybody then? There was nowhere. So for me, I don't need to look anywhere because I'm a man approaching 50 years old and I can see all what's out there. boxing carries no moral respect. People that's in it, yeah, the majority of them, not all of them, the majority of them, all these big high flyers, or maybe they're right at the end of the day. Maybe the boxers are as bad as the promoters, because everybody's looking
for themselves.
Just get a quid for themselves. So, and the best way they can get it, it's forget about yesterday and just think about tomorrow. So, you get a lot in boxing. There's a lot of boxers probably like that. There's a lot of promoters like that. But I'm very happy with my team that we're not like that.
I have to agree with you there, Peter. There are not a lot of people in this world that you can look and shake their hand and know that when you shake their hand, they're not going to try and stab you in your back 6 months down the line for their own personal gains. And when you do find people that are genuine, you should really cling on to them and hold on to them, because there are very few and far of them between, particularly in the sport of boxing. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you've only got to look at your history and go back, and this is why you stick with your own people. Look, I've helped people, put them on thousands of pounds a week, took them from nothing, give them the best. All of a sudden, they roll over and give you 10 years in prison. I've seen it all. I've seen all this, what people's capable of doing. This is why friendship is forged over years, many years. There is no new friends. There's sociabilities. When you've gone through life that you've been through, you realise just what people can do. So people are capable of anything. They're capable of any treachery you can imagine. Oh. That's why most of the world, in such chaos it is today.
Absolutely.
Because people lose their way through materialistic bullshit, which is there anyway.
Absolutely. Jealousy and envy and disrespect are three things I can't stand, and I guess that's an old school thing. And like I say, old school.
My friend, that's not old school. That's biblical. They're in the Bible. They're God's words. Envy, jealousy, greed, chasing materialistic things, disrespecting. They're in the Bible. They're God's words. Don't do against God's word.
Absolutely, Peter. And unfortunately, we're in a world, particularly. But I've heard a statement. Somebody said, "If you want loyalty in boxing, if you want loyalty, get a dog. Don't come into boxing looking for it." Is that true, or is that the character?
What was his name? You said that was Mickey Duff.
Yes.
That came from Mickey Duff.
But is that not to do with character rather than actually boxing and the people you deal business with?
Listen, it's what it is. Look, like I said, it's all politics. I'm happy to get on with next year, and I'm just what I am.
Okay.
I'm a free man. My heart's in the right place. My soul's definitely in the right place. And whatever's meant to be, meant to be. Just go forward. We've had a lot of setbacks. You just look, what team do you know that can fight Ukad on a daily basis? Yeah, have all of these big hitters promoters try and run a monopoly and veto us, and still put on a world title fight all at the same time.
Pretty impressive.
There's nobody doing it, and there's nobody done it. So, that's why I say we've got one of the strongest teams in boxing.
2018, is there going to be any talk of having a TV deal, or are you going to go back to YouTube?
I don't know what, look, I get what I want to do in my life. I've seen politics and I've seen money over the years, change people. So what I want to do, boxing has always been a hobby for me. So I want to just do the training. I can oversee things and have a look. I'm not a fool. I'll have a look at it. But Mick Hennesey is ultimately the promoter. Mick Hennesey does that side. I leave that to him. The trust is there. He can do that. Not a problem. And I just want to deal with the training. I've got Ali. He's an exceptional man. He's been there. He's a fabulous addition to the camp. So I'm very, very happy. We've got very astute, clever businessman. He's teamed up and partners with Mick Hennesey. So Mick Hennesey, just look what Mick Hennesey's done. look at the fighters he's brought through.
Yeah.
If these fighters would have shown any respect and loyalty to Mick Hennesey would be the best promoter in the world. It's not what Mick Hennessey's done. It's where all the fighters keep jumping off the boat. Everybody loves Mick Hennesey when they get in there, and when they get there, they dive off the boat and go elsewhere. So Mick is the type of man. He's not lost his values. He's not lost his self-respect. So that's why he's highly respected from people like himself.
Okay, just let's close off now by fights that have happened or happening and your thoughts on them. First and foremost, Rigondeaux Lomachenko. What was your thoughts going into the fight and what happened afterwards?
Well, Hughie asked me about this fight, and I told him, I said, Lomachenko will be too busy, too many angles all over him. Where Lomachenko takes a setback and he likes to set himself and work in his lazy Cuban style, Lomachenko won't have it, so he's going to get outworked. I said, it's probably going to be a lopsided fight, and it won't be all that exciting. He's got two southpaws as well. So I haven't seen the fight. I know what happened. He blamed it on his hand. Sad way to go out, really. But Rigondeaux, top fighter. But just how special is Lomachenko? Unbelievable fighter. It's lovely to watch the skill set of him. I think he's a great fighter. He's definitely in the top elite for me.
Fantastic. George Groves versus Chris Eubank Jr.
I think George Groves has got to get in the best shape of his whole career. He's got to be able to do 12 rounds under immense pressure. But for me, Groves is about boxing. Groves has got to keep on his jab. He's got to use his feints. He's got to use his slips. And he's just got to counter Eubanks on the way in and move off and stay relaxed on the pressure. And when Eubanks, say, gets Groves up against the ropes, Groves needs to step into him and tie him up and not let him work and not let him do his thing. And keep on that jab. Now, and then Groves can come through with a points victory. All that is easier said than done because I rate Eubanks as a very good fighter. I always have done. His dad was a good fighter, and so is he. And Eubanks has got the physical finesse there. He's got the power. And what I mean by power, not just the one-punch knockout power, but the volume of shots and his body strength. He's a superb athlete. And I just feel that Eubanks is comfortable with people pressing him. He's not that comfortable where Eubanks has got to go looking for the opponent. But in this, I think Eubanks has got to go looking, and he's got to apply the pressure. He's got to keep all over Groves, and he's got to turn this into a fight, Eubanks, not a boxing match. He's got to climb all over Groves. He's got to be careful as he's going in on the way in because Groves can't punch. And and Eubanks has got to work on his own jab. So it's a combination of Eubanks has got to keep pressing. It's favourable that Eubanks is just going to come on and in mid to late round do the damage. So I think it is a genuine 50-50 fight. I can see how Groves can win it, and I can see how Eubanks can win it. But it's a spectacular fight.
Yes.
But, Eubanks may be coming of age now where he can upset the odds and wipe out the whole division. So he's a dangerous operator. So it's going to be very interesting to see this because Eubanks has got a lot better since the days he boxed Billy Joe as well. He's improved.
Absolutely.
So he's coming on leaps and bounds. So look, it's not a fight that I bet on. But you have to only slightly favour Eubanks. It's going to be a tough fight. I see a very tough fight. If both prepare as well as they can be, is it going to be the aggressor or is it going to be the boxer? So it's one of them. Fantastic.
As you know, tonight Billy Joe Saunders takes on a dangerous assignment against David Lemieux. Billy Joe Saunders, far the better boxer, but the punching power of Lemieux. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think Billy Joe, he looks in fabulous condition. I think when he's had his first few fights coming back, and getting himself in shape, his body had to adapt. and he looks a lot better. I've seen the weigh-in. He looks ripped. Billy Joe, he looks in a lot better place. Looks a lot stronger as well. So for me, see Billy Joe outboxing Lemieux, walking Lemieux onto problems, and Billy Joe could come out of this with a fabulous win or stoppage even. But it just depends. I think Lemieux is going to press it. He could be not valuing Billy Joe's power and trying to walk him down and trying to come on mid to late, because he'll look at the videos and see Billy Joe fades a little bit in the second half of the fights. But, I don't see Billy Joe fading at all. I think he's got his act together properly. I think he's got himself dedicated. And I just think he's too slick of a boxer, too clever, and too articulate for Lemieux, because Lemieux's got power, but he seems to be a little bit predictable in every fight he has. So I think when he steps up on proper world levels, he's found wanting, hasn't he?
Yes.
Every time. So I think Billy Joe will overcome it, and I see Billy Joe winning the fight.
Conor Benn, the fight was on Sky, and it had mixed reviews as to what's happened there. Your thoughts on Conor Benn, and if you were managing, training Conor Benn, and that had happened to you, your fighter, how would you have responded?
Tell me about it, because I didn't see it.
Well, he came out first round, guns blazing, and got dropped with a straight right hand. Then he got up, and then the guy dropped him again. I think it was the same round, dropped him again in the first. Then, the guy was boxing quite smoothly against Ben, but Ben was landing good shots, coming back, showing lots of heart. And then he dropped him. Ben dropped him in, he dropped him again. Dropped him in the 8th or 6th or the 8th, something like that. And they dropped him. He dropped him twice. The guy, and then the bell went, and then it looked like a draw, but he was getting caught with a big overhand rights and really wasn't boxing much composure.
In the last 9 seconds of the fight, who dropped who?
Ben dropped the guy from Paris. He dropped him for the second time in the dying moments.
What was the guy from Paris' record?
I think he lost about 3 or 4 fights.
In how many?
13 or 14 fights.
First and foremost, French fighters are as tough as teak. That's first and foremost. So for me, bringing a young fighter through, bad idea. Because these French, Moroccan Algerians, that's what most of them are, they can fight. I've been in these gyms all around this France, and I've never seen a weak or tough as teak Frenchman that can't fight. Now, looking at it, it's like anything else. Because young Ben can punch, he's got carried away with the attack rather than looking at his defence. No matter who you are not invincible. That's why boxing is an art. You put your chin out and you go looking for that big punch, and you try and impress people outside the ring, you will get flattered yourself. So when you're walking in trying to do that damage, you're tensing up and you're winging them shots in, coming forward. Look, he's young, he's inexperienced, he's got a lot to live up to, that kid, and I think he'll learn a fantastic amount by it. It doesn't really mean anything. What he's done, he's made mistakes, hasn't he?
Yep.
And you look at the likes of Golovkin. Golovkin, what did he have? 300 amateur fights?
Yes.
Triple G. This guy looks like he's coming forward, but Golovkin can box. He's a unique, elite fighter. Young Conor Benn is not in that category. He's not had the experience, but he's getting it, and I think this is a blessing in disguise. This has happened to him, and he's managed to dig on his gum shield and come through. So that tells a lot about the young fighter. So I think I wouldn't read much into it. I think he'll do a lot better next time. He's got to be more patient, keep the explosiveness there, and just come in on angles where he's not leaving himself open.
Okay. Final comment, final question. The Takam fight with Joshua and the stoppage. Your thoughts?
Takam's a lot better man than people give him credit for. I knew this was going to be a difficult fight for Joshua as soon as he got announced. it wasn't never going to be an easy fight. I think they took this fight knowing that he's got 12 days to get ready, so the risk shouldn't be all that. But Takam is a workaholic. He's always in the gym. So I think they didn't do their own work properly when they took Takam, or they done their own work and took a punt on it, because at the end of the day, maybe it's a fight they could not get out of. I don't know. But quite clearly, struggling with the boxing and the style of Takam. And it wasn't an easy fight for Joshua. I thought the referee helped him as well in the 11th, because he wasn't gone. So I think it was prematurely stopped. And God knows what could have happened. But the one thing, it was not an easy fight for Joshua, and it exposed quite a few flaws there. But, look, let's look at it like this way. Joshua's active, he's fighting, he's making a lot of money, he's going on trying to get the belts, unify them. So full credit to him and full credit to his team. This is me as a trainer looking at it and being sceptical. But listen, they've got my respect, because they've achieved fabulous things in boxing. I wish them all the best. And this is a sport at the end of the day. So, full respect to Anthony Joshua, because look, he's in the gym day in, day out, whether he fights or not, looks after his body. He's a dedicated athlete. And when you're dedicated and you've got a good team and you listen to your team, this is what is achievable. All the money in the world, because it's teamwork. And Joshua listens to his team. That's why he's where he is today. So, full respect to him. The fight itself with Takam was a difficult fight for him. I think he was lucky to get through it.
Peter Fury is always an insightful interview. Have I missed anything? Have I missed anything in terms of asking you questions that I shouldn't have asked or I haven't asked you?
Not really. I think we've covered everything. What we're going to do is get on with next year. I don't want to listen to no more negative shit in my life. I've done my best for everybody. Everybody's met me over the years. I just do the best I can. I've done my best to put my life on the line for my family as well. And I'm happy. I'm happy with the people around me, and I'm in a good place. And the thing is, I just want the best for the future. And whatever we got, is we've had tragedies all the way along, one after the other. We lost our brother there a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was only really myself and my brother John left, and I've got another brother called Jimmy. I don't see much of him, but this to me is paramount. Boxing is what it is. Family's more important than any boxing club. So for me, I wish everybody well, wish everybody a happy Christmas, and let's get on with next year and have a fabulous start. To all my people and everybody, without you out there, I wouldn't be where I am today. We wouldn't achieve things where we are today without help. One man on his own is useless. So big thanks to everybody and all my friends out there, maximum love and respect in all the world. And God bless everybody.
Peter Fury, as always, thank you so much. It's been a long time since we last spoke, but I really appreciate every time we talk. And thank you once again, and happy holidays to you, your family, and to all the best for 2018. And we look forward to speaking to you then.
You're very welcome, Ingram, and all the best to you as well.
Thank you so much.
Always nice talking to you.
Thank you. Take care.
See you soon.
You too. Bye-bye.